share. Tamara and Sharon, a duo prepared to light up the path, to bridge every gap. Access meets opportunity, there's no turning back.
Welcome to another show of Speak Harmony, where we speak unity into the community. And this episode is brought to you by our sponsor, APAP Media. That's a photo and production full-service media company specializing in podcasting, multi-camera recording, video, and live streaming services. Contact them. If you want the best of the best, contact them at info@apapmedia.com. That's A as in action, P as in Patrick, A as in always, P as in production. Again, that's info@apapmedia.com. My name is Sharon Reed. I'm also known as the Heart Lady. And this is Sharon Thompson, your host. I like to call her Sister Sharon T.
There you go. There you go. Howdy,
How you doing, darling? How was your weekend?
Oh, boy, you don't want to know. It was fantastic.
Uh-oh.
Fantastic. We spent it celebrating another of the clan, my husband's cronies, as they say. Phony, crony, phony. I meant to say.
Be careful, you're going to get in trouble.
I know, like the folks from Stony Brook University. I mean, let me tell you, it's a brotherhood, sisterhood. They are amazing people. So, listen, one of the second to the last, I think, turned 60 on Saturday.
All right. So
and we celebrated it all the way up in Rochester.
Okay. Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York. We went to Niagara Falls, the whole 9 yards.
All right.
It was beautiful.
Good.
Yeah, so it was beautiful. How about yours? How was Atlanta?
It was hot. Yeah, and we had some rain, but it was good. I enjoyed. I had, for the week, I had my 16-year-old grandson with me. And that was fun, interesting. And so he is learning to drive and getting his license in a couple of weeks. And so I was bold enough or courageous enough or stupid enough, one or the other.
Have him drive your car.
Let him drive on the 20.
Way to go.
But he did good job. Good job.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's what we kind of did. And so I relaxed and worked.
And I ate and partied more. So here we are. I love it. So welcome.
So guess what? You know I always have to come with a fun fact, right?
Yes, talk to me.
Today is National Mango Day.
And we don't have no mango.
And we don't have no mango. No one didn't bring us any mangoes. So
seriously,
where did mangoes come from?
You know what? I'm going to cheat because I heard it. I've known it. India.
That's right.
But I thought, honestly, and don't shoot me for this, people, but I literally, we Jamaicans think everything comes from Jamaica. Not one so. Nothing like so. We're going nothing go so. Nothing go so. Mango, but we have some different
mangoes. What's your favorite mango?
Oh boy. Julie mango, and I don't know what they call it elsewhere, but I love some Julie mango. Mm-hmm. East Indians are good, but I don't like all that fiber.
Yeah.
And when that stuff gets in my teeth, I'm upset.
Yeah.
But I do like table mango, and don't judge me. I like table mango, and I know what you're saying about it. Bougie people, right? I eat it with a spoon, too.
Oh, really? Do you?
I do. I cut it around.
Who eats mango with the spoon?
It is the way you eat. Mr. P, help me out now.
No.
It's so you eat Bombay mango. Boy.
Not country people.
But it's so good.
Gosh.
Love mangoes.
So, Sharon, we have...
Man, what a lineup.
Okay, we have a lineup. But guess what, folks? Guess what, Speak Harmony family? This is so interesting. As you know, this is Sharon and Sharon. But we have a Stevenson and Stevenson. So, get it confused or get it right. I'm going to introduce to you and welcome Professor Dr. Sandria Stevenson
Yeah.
Most recently, Dr. Stevenson, I heard that you've been featured in the Atlanta Business Journal as the one to watch. All right.
One of.
We'll be here. So we're saying the one to watch.
Oh, well.
Dr. Stevenson is a CPA and the founder and principal of CPA Consulting, LLC. And it's a wonderful organization that assists minority businesses and small businesses and individuals who are navigating and trying to solve issues that they have with the IRS. Uh-oh. And so one of her clients has said, and we're going to say it again, if Dr. Stevenson can't solve it, it cannot be solved. So you already know who to go to if you have these IRS and accounting problems. So welcome to Speak Harmony.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the introduction and the news about the mangoes. Yeah, that's been on my mind.
What is your favorite mango?
I don't even really know. I like the little common ones because they tend to be small and sweet. I'm sure you call them common mangoes, but they're tiny and they're just like easy to eat. So I don't have to scoop and cut like Sharon does.
But do you just squeeze and pop it in your mouth?
You just like peel them and you just, eat them off the seed.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. Wow.
But anyway, so we're here to talk a little bit to your audience about, mitigating or understanding how to navigate issues with the IRS.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for like 20 years. Well, literally, I'll say 20 years in Georgia, but it's been a long time. I've been a CPA from, when is it, 1992?
Yeah, they're neat.
It's been a long time. So I've been there before we had computers and doing our, tax returns when we were doing it using just typewriters, filling in forms by hand by typewriters. So I do have a lot of experience, navigating or dealing with the IRS. It's been years. So I just wanted to bring some of that information to your listeners, and hopefully that will give them a little bit of comfort to realize, including myself and others, who can help them navigate those issues rather than taking it all on and making it an issue and mental issue is my main concern. And the reason I have that concern because I've seen it over the years in a lot of my clients. I have clients who have come to me crying, literally in tears, because when you get a letter from the IRS that say, oops, we are going to start putting a lien on your house, or we're going to start, we're going to take money from your bank account. We're going to garnish you. We're going to garnish your salary. That can create a lot of sleepless nights.
Oh, yeah, stress.
So that's kind of, we're talking about Speak Harmony. We want to speak harmony to our listeners and let them know they don't have to literally sit by and just let it all happen. It's a scary situation, but it doesn't need to be a scary situation if you can contact the right people and the right consultants, and also not be cheated out of your money by sometimes you see people making ads like, hey, give us $5,000, or if you owe the IRS $20,000, come to us. We'll make sure you only pay pennies on the dollar. Those are literally scams that often do not pan out. And I can give you a lot of examples of that. I have clients who have gone through that. Who have been sent to me because they have gone through that, and then they come back and like, hey, I was told to, contact you about these issues that we're having. So it's a lot that's out there that that you can learn from, from genuine people. There are other CPAs too who are genuine, so maybe very expensive. But like I said, like you said, Sharon, my goal is really to assist and help people navigate all of this and understanding that they don't have to be killed, by paying $1 million to do it, right? So, of course, I'm exaggerating, but that's kind of where that's where we come in. Yeah.
What would speak to people, debt consolidators, that terminology, because I've, for too long heard about consolidating your debt. There are people out there who don't understand, and I don't profess to know everything. I don't know a thing about your field.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I just want to say thank you, first of all, publicly, because you've helped out a very near and dear person to my, really close to my heart. And let me tell you, this young lady bought her first home. And Dr. Sandria Stevenson, you made it so palatable, so easy for her. This youngster, she says, I don't know what to do. I says, well, here's a number. You call and talk to her. And she says, but this, I says, you speak to her. And let me tell you, thank you so much for putting her at ease. She's coming up on a year being a homeowner, a young homeowner. And so speak to that space, people who are buying a home for the first time, whatever age, wherever they are, and then debt consolidation. So I know those are loaded questions, but a lot of people hear that terminology, debt consolidation, and really get caught up.
Okay, so first I'll tell you, the young lady that you referred to, she called me today, and I told her we were talking about some other things that she wanted me to help with. So yeah, that was a good thing, and I told her I would be here tonight, and she's like, really? And I said, yeah, I'll be there tonight. So tune in if you can. But and then I'll talk a little bit about buying your first home. Again, also a scary issue. It doesn't have directly to do with the IRS directly, but indirectly it does. Because when you're going to buy your first home, as most of you have already bought a home, or you remember, it's a scary thing. You're not sure if you're being given the right information from a tax perspective. Now, I'm not talking from a realtor perspective, but that is also important, because I have had people come to me after they buy their first home, and this is the first time they're going to file their tax returns. So we bought a house. Let's fast forward now. First year, you're going to file a tax return based on what the last year, right? Transactions or activities, and you bought a house. And I've had people say to me, how is it that I'm not getting my money back when I bought my house? I was told by the realtor I will get my money back. And my thing, I'm a critical thinker, and I would say, okay, tell me if does this make sense to you? You're going to buy a home, and the IRS is going to turn around and give you your money back.
Right?
That's not legit. That's not true. That is, and I'm not, I have realtors who are clients, but it is a talking point that they will tell you, you're going to get your money back. No, you don't get your money back. What you get back, and you don't even really get it back. What really happens is when you buy a home, you are include the interest you paid on that mortgage, itemized deduction. And that's only if you can itemize, right? When we say itemize on an IRS tax return, you have two choices. They give you a standard deduction. That's a money that's deducted from your income, and then you get what you call your taxable income. You have two choices. You can take the standard or the itemized. In the standard, you're creating those that amount yourself. In the itemized, in the standard, they give it to you. It's like an amount the IRS says, okay, it's $12,000, $14,000, $15,000. It goes up every year for a little bit for inflation. For this year, for a single person, was $14,000 plus, and for if you're married filing jointly, it's $26,000, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to build that itemized deduction, and if the amount of interest you pay, along with for example, your property tax and medical bills, which only can be 7.5% of your earnings, et cetera, charitable contributions, if you have a cash value to that, then you can build your own itemized deduction, and you may surpass the standard deduction. So let's say when I did my tax return, you did your tax returns, you had your total itemized deduction of $40,000. You're going to use that or take advantage of that $40,000. So let's say you earn $100,000. Now you're only going to be taxed on $60,000. But it's not that the IRS gives you your money back. Well, that $60,000 may lower your taxable income, and so you owe less taxes. And if you paid in more through your job, or you paid as you go along through estimated taxes, then you'll get a refund. That is how that works.
Wow.
You don't
Step
get
by
any
step.
money
Yeah.
back from the IRS because you bought a house. And it grits on my nerves when people tell people that. It really
Wow.
bothers
What a
me.
shame.
Yeah.
When we have, I'm telling you, when you have realtors, they will hound you. Oh yeah, you're going to get your money back. And when you prepare your tax and realize, oh, that's not true, I'm not getting my money back, for first-time home buyers, that can be very mentally devastating.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it,
Of
you
course.
probably went into your 401k, or
That's
you
correct.
probably went into your savings,
did.
and you took
Touched
that money
something.
out to pay down on this house
Or borrow money.
with the promise that the
That you're gonna
IRS is
get it
going to
back.
give you back. So that's one pet peeve I have that I cannot stand when people do that to other people.
Can you tell us how you build the itemization?
Well, like I was explaining to you, itemization comes from different things that are allowed.
So
For example,
do we tell the CPA, or does the CPA let us know or ask us
well,
the
the
questions?
CPA
How do we know?
should, if you have a good CPA, they'll ask you the questions. They'll tell
Okay.
you, like, I do that. I'm like, okay. Even if you don't tell me you bought a house, did you buy a house? If you didn't tell me you have medical bills, do you have medical bills? Because I probably know you were a little bit ill last year, whatever. Do you have charitable deductions? It's a big one. People don't realize that they can deduct their goodwill.
Yeah.
And one of the things I tell them, that you can, whatever thrift value or whatever you can put towards that when you give to Goodwill or any other charity, you can save those receipts. Make sure you have a receipt with a date you gave, all of that. So that's how you bill itemization. Those are the standards that the IRS lays out. And from those menu, let's call it a menu of items, you may have 10, 5 or 4. And if those can be added standard deduction that's allowed to lower your taxable income, bill your own itemization. Charity, if you give, that's also deductible.
Oh, the tithes as well. I bet you a lot of
Tithes,
people
it's a
don't
part-
know
Don't know
that.
that,
Yeah.
yes.
Contributions, tithes and offerings to your church. If you give over 250 in one go, you should get a receipt. So you could ask your church to give you a receipt. Tithes and
Interesting.
offering.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you, yes,
Sure.
speaking that camera over there, because there are folks watching,
Yes.
listening,
Yes.
that don't know that. They go to
Yes.
church every
Sunday or
every
Saturday or
Sunday,
Friday,
whatever
day you go to church, and you pay, or you may be dropping a $5 or $10 or whatever in the, when they pass it around in the little plates. And those are deductible items. If you can itemize, that increases your itemization. Some people give 10%. You can give up to 50% of your income to your church.
But how is that documented? How do you keep track of how much?
How much you gave,
Yeah.
the onus is on you to do that.
So, but you can't get a receipt, can you?
You should be able to ask
to
your
ask for a
church to give you a receipt. You
Okay.
can tell the church, okay, so I just dropped some loose change. But in most churches, they have a tied envelope, right?
Yes.
And that tied envelope is what you write. You can literally take a picture
Take
of
a
that before you
picture.
hand it in.
That's
That's document. I'll probably come back and do
She got
another
little
podcast.
tips, tricks,
No, no,
and
I'm
tips.
gonna have to do
on
a whole thing on
documentate and
that.
how you document. That is so important. Document.
And with that, I'm thinking also about entrepreneurs who do networking or take out someone out for lunch. Like I'm always
I'm like,
taking
what you
Sharon
want
out
to
for
do?
lunch.
Yeah. Those are all
So
deductible
just keeping
costs.
those receipts.
Keep your receipts.
And then making sure that we give it to the CPA.
Yes,
And
keep
would
your
that be
receipts.
itemized for?
You can itemize it however you'd like. I usually tell people, don't go buy a 5,000 computer if you have a small business. You have
Right.
an exercise book like we used to do back then.
Right,
You can
right.
literally write stuff down.
Yes.
Document it, date, who you paid and how much. And of course, if you have the receipt, that's even better. You attach that.
Okay.
And
So if you
that
don't have the documents all the events, that is acceptable?
You still can use that information depending on the amount. If it's an amount that's like over what we would call a standard
Standard.
cost, so you can't tell the IRS, I took somebody for dinner and we spent $5,000.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's not gonna
That's
fly.
insane. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, how many people did you feed? The whole village? No. But if you said, reasonable.
Yes, Right.
I took a
yes.
client for dinner, we spent $200 with steak and they had whatever they ate, right? Lobster and steak, and they had a drink. That's reasonable. So even if you forgot to get the receipt off the table, which we sometimes do,
Yeah.
Interesting.
then you can document. You got home and you're like, oh man, or even better, if you use a credit card, it's on your credit card.
Your statement.
So there you go. You always want to go back to your statements. And now with some credit card like American Express and Citi and all those, they give you what we call an itemized summary every year.
That's right.
Look
That's
out for
correct.
those little pesky
That's
things you
correct.
get in the mail
Yes,
or by
yes.
your email.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're right about the email, because if how I set up even with my debit card, for example, every single, because with theft and scammers and all that kind of stuff these days, every single usage is recorded and I get notifications. So it's fun for me. When I started doing that, it just blew me away.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I'm standing in line and I'm doing my transaction, I just hear on my phone, ding,
Right.
and I get that ping to say,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, you just got an email, or you should be expecting an email. I say, I already got it. I know that I already spent $200 here. I'm good. How do you know? I said, it's in my email or it's in my text message.
Right.
Yeah.
I got notified.
Right.
So if you use my card illicitly, guess what? You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to track it.
Right.
And this is why we're supposed to pay
That's
attention.
very, very good.
It's critical.
Another thing is itemizing your mileage. So if you drive 50 miles to take somebody to
Yes.
dinner downtown one day, you want to impress them in Atlanta, that's also an itemized cost.
Gotcha.
Yep. And we, the CPAs, would add the value to that for you. So yeah, I know a lot of people don't have the time or the whereabouts, or just, some people are just not very much well organized, so they don't want to be documenting stuff. But that's one of the biggest things you can do, is to create that evidence, that document. It's the same thing like if you were going to go up to a trial, you want evidence, is the same thing. Because
Yes.
with the IRS, you are creating those evidences just in case, unfortunately, you're one of the 2% of people who may get audited one year.
Absolutely. And you say, wow, because my whole idea, when someone hears a CPA, Sharon, I don't know about you, but when you hear CPA, it could be very intimidating, a CPA or a financial advisor. And so the average person, you would say, I just can afford barely, so to speak. I can't afford a CPA. I can't afford a financial advisor. But it's critical, just like when we go to the doctor, if we get a full body checkup and we suspect that there's something else going on, do we go back to the doctor to say, check me again, or do we go to a specialist?
Right. And so a
The specialist, the
CPA is
expert.
a specialist.
That's
and
correct.
yes, it can be intimidating in terms of fees, because if you look at the regular fees for CPAs, they range from $150 per hour to $400 per hour, depending on where you are. If you're in New York, California, it's going to be on the higher end.
Yeah.
And it depends how specialized the CPA is, how long they've been in business. All that stuff really comes in. And it also depends on their mission.
Right.
So, for example, my mission is not to make sure my clients can't pay me at the end. I want to make sure they're educated. It's about educating you about how taxes and finances and advisory works. That's my mission.
There are
So,
some CPAs that will, or tax advisors that do the taxes, but they'll say, send a electronic authorization for you to submit it, but they went through this, they say to check it over, but oftentimes we don't even know what we're looking at and checking over. So I always think that it's great that you have the opportunity for the CPA, the accountant, to go over. And then that also affords the opportunity to ask more questions and to learn. So I can see why you're a professor, because you like to educate and inform and allow people. I'd like to ask, what is the most common issue that you find that people come to you for?
In terms of common IRS,
as far as
it's IRS issues. One thing people come to me a lot for is the whole idea of getting them out of trouble. In other words, they're already in trouble with the IRS, and they can be in trouble for many things. So normally, of course, I do their regular taxes, which is fine. But more often than not, during the summer months, like now, I am dealing a lot with offers in compromise. And I'll explain that in a minute if you stick a pin there. Or I'm dealing with something like, just getting back to a spousal issues. We have spousal issues, which is already stressful.
Yeah.
And I'll talk a little bit about those two things. So let me begin with offers in compromise. So an offer in compromise is, as the words imply, an offer that you can make to the IRS when you owe them money. So if you owe the IRS money and you cannot pay it, don't hide from them. This is one thing I want your listeners to take away. Don't say, you know what, I just got this letter and I'm just going to ignore it. Then, they said they're going to garnish my salary, but I'm just going to ignore it because I can't pay them. They don't like when you do that. They don't want you to ignore them. They want you to acknowledge it.
Okay.
So you acknowledge it, and then you said, okay, I'm going to find the best CPA with a good price rate for their, for their compensation that I can work with. You don't want to work with these commercial people that talk a lot on TV and radio. Oh, yeah, come to us, and they give this big spiel.
Right.
Here's the reason for not wanting to do that. Well, basically, they don't hold your hands. They don't take care of you. They're in business to make money. And so I'll give you a perfect example. So I have a client. Actually, she's a friend of my gardener, and she actually got in trouble with the IRS. She and a lot of other people. Why? Because they had a gentleman who did all their taxes and he did all sort of crazy stuff, and everybody was getting $20,000, $30,000 back.
What?
This was on the news like years ago. It still happens.
$20,000 back from the
Getting
IRS.
all of that because they did whatever they did. They manipulated the tax returns. Of course, the IRS will sit quiet. They're going to sit quiet for about 3 years. You're not going to hear from them. So when you think, oh, yeah, whoopee-doo, pat myself on the back, I've gotten away with this. In 3 years, you're going to get a letter. And the letter is going to say, we assess this, you owe us that, plus penalties and interest. Because the interest is 1% per month.
Wow.
And what people don't know about the IRS is that when you owe them money, it goes back to the tax year, January 1st of the tax year for which that money is owed.
Oh,
they are
really?
like used car sales people, dealership. That's why I always use that analogy. And so it goes back. And so now a $5,000 or a $10,000 that you owe them is now $20,000 because it builds, it's compounding effects,
Wow.
right? So the offering compromise says, well, I'm in trouble. I understand I'm in trouble. So let me offer you something. And the minimum you can offer them is 20%. The IRS.
Okay.
You offer them 20%. It's a long thing you got to fill out. You go to a CPA. You fill out the forms. They do it. They send in the offer. That offer has to have the initial amount that you're offering. And then you're saying, okay, I'm going to offer 20%. I'm going to give you a certain amount of that 20% right now. And then the rest I'll pay over time.
Okay.
And so that's an offer in compromise. It is a little technical. It takes a lot of work to do one. It's a lot of paperwork. But if it happens, you're going to be rejoicing, right? Because now instead of owing them $20,000, you're owing them $4,000. And you're going to pay that, whatever you're owing them, because you offer, if they accept your offer.
Right.
No, they don't always accept your offer.
Yeah.
Here are some of the times they will definitely not accept your offer. If you own a house, they're not going to accept your offer. They're going to tell you sell the house and pay them.
And pay them.
I'm telling you, I just had this experience just last year with one of my clients. They will not give you, they'll not allow you to get away with it if you now have income that can surpass that offer. They'll not let you get away with it if you have like a 401k plan or any amount of money sitting down somewhere. They will not make them an offer.
Yeah.
They're going to refuse it. So they're going to look at your financial situation. I'm going back to your consolidation. They're going to look at all of that, and then they will decide whether or not they accept your offer.
Yeah. And whether or not they feel as though you can afford to pay them back
Right.
their money.
Their money, of course.
Yes. Well, of course, with the offers in compromise, if they accept it, they already said this is a contract between you and me, and you're going to pay us that certain amount over time. And it could be a year, could be 2 years. These are the things that you and your CPA will decide. So we'll look at your financial situation and we'll decide how much you can pay. So that's one. Another thing that we get a lot is spousal, spouses always have issues, especially they're divorcing.
Yeah.
And when you're divorcing, you have what we call, everything was joint before. Now you're separating.
Right.
You're separating. You're supposed to separate your taxes too. But what some people don't understand is that, no, I don't have to pay my spouse's half of the tax. I don't have to do that. I have to do nothing with you. We're separating or we're divorcing. Let's separate our lives. Let's separate everything. Now, if both of you ended up owing the IRS and one person is at fault, are more at fault than the other, then the person who is not at fault can actually ask the IRS for leniency. Okay? So when you ask for leniency, you can say, okay, I was not at fault. We had joint, but I wasn't working. I was a stay-at-home mom. But, everything is both of your names. And I had a lot of those situations. I'll give you a perfect example. So I had a client that she didn't work. She had 4 boys, and she never worked. Her husband worked. But what he and his family were doing is taking out all these different cars and trucks in her name because they're building their business. And eventually they got a divorce. And she was hit with a letter from the IRS that she has a business and that she owes all of this money. She came to me. This happened like years ago.
in tears.
She was crying, didn't know what to do.
Wow.
And I told her, said, don't worry about it. What we're going to do, we're going to file an innocent spouse relief. People don't know about that.
Say that
stuff.
again.
Innocent, I'll point to the camera. Innocent spouse relief, ISR. Come to me, I'll help you with that. An innocent spouse relief, tell the IRS I was not at fault. I never worked a day in my life. Now we have to gather the paperwork and prove that. That person is not responsible for any of these taxes that are back taxes that are owed by your spouse.
Yeah. So as we get ready to wrap up, this is some fantastic
Yes.
information. I'm
We have
learning
5
a
minutes
lot.
left, and I'm like, oh my God.
But when you said, I thought of a question when you said that the husband put everything in their name. I know it's common that people put things in their children's name. How does that impact them as they become
how
adults?
it impacts the children.
Children,
Well, the
yes.
children, unfortunately, cannot file an innocent
But if they're-
spouse,
yeah.
but they can also file an from
When I
their
say
parents.
children,
Yeah.
if they're
Yeah. What we call separate themselves from their family, and they also
You know what? And I'm glad you raised that
Yeah.
point because, Dr. Stevenson,
Yes.
believe it or not, I knew of a case many moons ago, and I'll wrap this up because we only have a second to go, it seems. But this young man got ready. He got married. He was ready to buy a house, he and his spouse. And when he went and started that process, he found out that his father's credit was ruined back in the day when he was growing up. He's the eldest. And his father would use their social security
Right.
number, the children's social security number,
Right.
and apply for credit.
Right.
And this kept going on. So he was denied. And believe it or not, once he found out, he had no mercy. He went full throttle. He says, I don't care. My father did this to me.
Yep.
And I'm going for the juggler.
Yes,
and
you have to.
He went. He pressed right in because he was like, You've ruined my life.
and that
You've
time
ruined
you
my
would
life."
need a CPA as well as an attorney.
Right.
It's probably the best thing to do is to get that from a legal perspective as well as an IRS perspective.
Right.
But in terms of the one question you asked me about debt consolidation,
Yes.
For some reason, because it depends, critical, what we call, or the cost of borrowing money on that interest that you're consolidating. And sometimes you consolidate in one respect, but then you need money to start to live on. So if you don't have money to live on, you can't. You shouldn't consolidate until you have enough money to live on. You're better off doing what we call the minimum payment, like you pay off the smaller bills first.
Right.
That small bills pay. Let's say 2,000 on one, 10,000. Pay the 2,000, get rid of that. Pay the 5,000, get rid of that. And that's kind of how you go up the ladder. So it's the ladder approach to paying off your bills.
So in a nutshell, do not ignore your bills. I mean,
Right.
when you get hit that way
Yeah.
and you realize that you're in a spot, start paying off the small ones
Yes.
first. So
It
that's
is-
key.
yes,
We're going to have to
indeed.
have you back because
I
time
will
is out,
definitely
and,
come
we just
back.
need to let the viewers know
Yes.
how
Yeah.
and where to contact you. That's
Well, you can contact me at SSCPA Consulting LLC. We do have our website. It's the same name as sscpaconsulting.com. And also you can contact me through, once you get to my website, you can always email or text. And then we will definitely get back with you. Depending on your needs, we'll be willing to sit down, have a talk with you or by Zoom.
All right.
Yeah.
And so can I close with just asking you, how do you speak unity into your community?
Well, I speak unity into my community by understanding that we're all together. No matter who you are, where you're from, it really doesn't matter because we're all affected by the same issues, like debt consolidation, like the IRS. They said you can't get rid of those things. So it's better if as a unified body, we're educated to understand where we are. Education is power. And once you have that power, then you can move forward. Then you can know how to navigate and to mitigate the stresses in your life. And it sometimes starts with finances.
There we go. There we have it. Thank you so
Wow,
much for
thank
sharing,
you. Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you.
Sandria Stevenson.
Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and
Here.
schedule her.
Listen, if you think it can't be solved, it can be solved. Testimony.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
thank
we
you
look
for
forward to
having me.
talking
Looking
with you
forward.
again.
Look forward to
Yes,
having you
indeed,
back in here
indeed.
soon because
Anytime,
summer's ending and we're going to
anytime.
get you back in here.
Yeah, and I have a
you so
slew of
much.
questions
Yes.
left. So,
And as a
yes.
matter of fact, maybe next time we'll focus on one topic that you really, so I can literally get in depth. This was just pretty much an introduction.
That's it.
There you
That's
go.
it. We thank you so much.
All right, Professor.
Thank you. That's amazing.
I'm serious.
Oh, wow.
We good? Good. Thank you. All right. So that was her. Do you have anything,
So we just want to welcome you back to the second segment of Speak Harmony. My goodness, the studio is on fire. It really is. We've got another Dr. Stevenson in the house. This time we have Dr. Winom Stevenson, who is a nurse educator, guys, a nursing consultant, an author of many books, a speaker, an entrepreneur. I mean, she has extensive experience in higher education. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But Dr. Stevenson, you have a plethora of items behind your name, things that you do. I mean, really. How many books? Because I have copies of your books, and I have I'm yet to purchase the other copies, but I know you've got one that you're just about to drop as well. How many books have you written so far?
Well, first of all, thank you, Sharon, for having me. It's my pleasure
You're
to be
welcome.
here. I just published my 7th book.
Wow! Congrats!
And
Congrats!
another one in the works within
Interesting.
a month or so.
Oh, wow!
So first of all, I am a nurse educator. I'm a nursing professor and an author. And you talk about unity and you talk about, what you represent here. And I think about the work that I do as a nursing professor, as an author, as a speaker, even as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And how that, how all of those together help to unite people. And bring people together, whether it's nursing students or it's, I do a little bit of consulting too, or if I'm consulting with a nursing school on something they need to improve, or I'm selling, all of that just serve to, I meet people and I'm a people person. I like to bring people together. I like to talk to people, find out what's going on with them, what's going on in their lives. How can I make a difference, Because my mantra is, if I can help somebody each day, then my living will not be in vain.
Amen.
And so I seek to do that, and I seek to unify people. Well, let me talk a little bit about my books.
Yes,
I
please.
wanted to share those. So the first one, and I'll just kind of brought them
Yes.
with me. So the
Oh,
first one I authored, co-authored. This was my only co-authored book. And it's an NCLEX RN. I'm not sure if you can see this.
Yes.
I co-authored with two colleagues of mine, Dr. Tim Bristol and Judy Herman. And this was back in 2018. If you know anything about what nurses have to do once they graduate, students, they can graduate all they want. They can finish nursing school all they want, and that is admirable. But unless they can pass the national exam called the NCLEX, they will never be able to practice. So this book we published is a conceptual review guide for the NCLEX. And so another edition is out. This was the first edition. And following that, so this was kind of my only one that I that I co-authored, and everything else after that has been solo, just me publishing. And I am a devout Christian, and so I write in two genres. I write faith-based books as well as nursing books. So another nursing book I wrote, accepted into nursing school. Congratulations, planning strategy.
Love that.
I find
love
that nursing students, well, all students, this
Yes.
more intelligently. I find that nursing students sometimes accepted into nursing school. I'm going to
course,
nursing school.
I'm doing
But they don't think about the strategies they need once they, even to start planning. And then once they get in, what do I
What's
need
next?
to do to stay here and to be successful?
Yeah.
So this book speaks to that.
Yeah.
It presents them with the what to do's once you get accepted.
Right.
How do you plan? Do you think about babysitting? Okay, I'm going to have to do clinicals. I'm going to have to go to the lab. I have classes. You know, I have children. Do I have a backup babysitter? You know, it's an online class. I have to do computer classes. Well, I only have one computer. Well, what happens if it breaks down? Do I have a plan? When I get into nursing school, do I think about studying? Engagement with my faculty, engagement with the students. Do I need a study group? Is it effective? Am I in one once I get in? Is it effective? What should I be doing in that study group to be successful? And so on and so forth. So this really speaks to that. And then,
Powerful. Yeah.
yes. This one, I am happy to say, is in two bookstores of two nursing schools, one as a recommended read and one as a required read. So I'm very happy for that.
Congratulations.
Great.
Wow.
Very, very
I
happy
work
for
with
that.
a lot of nurses, so that information is gold. I'll just be passing that on.
Yes. And then,
Oh my gosh, I love this.
I must say that this has been my bestseller.
I love
And this is my autobiography, and it is called Breaking the Crippling Chains of Poverty. I do believe you have read this one,
I
Sharon.
have read it cover to cover and cover to cover again. I've read
It is raw.
Yes, it is.
It is raw. It
It's
speaks
emotional.
truth.
It does.
It's me. It's all
Prompted
me.
you to write that.
Yes.
Now, I'm glad you asked that because I like to walk in the park. The book before this one. And so I have a few started. And I was walking at the park, and that's when I like to kind of have my communion with the Lord. I walk and I talk with Him. And I'm walking and I'm thinking, I'm saying, okay, Lord, now where do I go next? Which one do I? And I distinctly heard, this was not something I had started. I didn't think about an autobiography. And I heard an autobiography. And I'm saying, autobiography? Who reads autobiographies unless it's for someone famous?
Yes.
And no one is going to read my autobiography. And I kept hearing it, and I kept hearing it, and I strongly heard the title. The title. And so I went home and I started writing, and it just flowed. And so you know when it's something that you should be writing because it just flows.
Flows, right.
It was like what we call, they talk about verbal diarrhea.
Verbal
It was
diarrhea,
writing diarrhea. And it kept going and going and going. And just to let you know, this has been one of my best sellers.
Interesting.
So that's how I
Congratulations.
wrote
Yes.
this book.
Yeah.
And I was honest, raw, and my goal for writing this one was empowerment
Yes.
and emboldening
Yes.
youngsters
So you
to
talk
let them
about
know
moving from poverty to
where I am now. And
Beautiful.
how it happened, how it evolved, and the fact that you don't have to sit. You may be born in poverty, but you don't have to stay there.
Wow.
And there are many reasons that people can tell you why you will never be better, you will never get out of this, but don't listen to those voices because you
Interesting.
can move out of poverty. So that was this.
So
one.
before you move on to the next book, because there's someone, because I've read it
Yeah.
again and again, and I can attest to that. There are folks that have not read it. They've never heard of it. And their parts, their excerpts, what in particular would you say would stick out, would stand out? What part of that book that you would say for someone who's curious, someone who's going through something right now, poverty, uncertainty, situations that life has thrown them some hard curveballs, and they're like, I'm done. I'm checking out. That book is an encouragement because and it's emotional because I remember reading it and I picked it up when I was traveling and I grabbed it. That was the first book I grabbed to travel. And I had already read that book, but I went back and I read it and I says, everybody needs a copy of this. I don't care where you came from. What would you say?
Well, thank you for asking that, Sharon. There are many excerpts that I could really pull out and use, but one that really is very, just very profound for me, and I think it has impacted people who have read it because they have told me so.
Yes.
And so when I first came to this country, I came by myself, and I cleaned floors, you know? I worked in people's homes. I cleaned floors. I washed their clothes. I did all of that, you know. I scrubbed their floors. I washed their dishes. And I remember one particular job I had, and when I say it was slavery, you know? And I was up before 7, never got into my bed till probably 10, 11. And I was so exhausted that all I could do was to get down to the basement to my room, fall on the bed, and I would wake up in the morning with the same clothes because I was so exhausted, I just dropped. And so when I talk to young people, and I often do that now, and they're struggling, and they're going through rough times, and they feel like they're never going to make it, I often pull that out, and I tell them, and I said, but look where I am now, and look where I'm coming from. And if I had the strength to do that, and the tunnel vision to a better life, then you can do it too. So that's just one of many that's in here. But that particular situation there was really strong, really profound for me. And when I look back on that now, I just know it wasn't all me. God was in it.
Yes, he was.
And I'm forever and ever going to interject and talk about God because he's the head of my life, and I can't do a thing without him, right? And so I know that that it was my effort, yes, and my what I call stick-to-itiveness. There's no such word, Professor. There's no such word, but I'm going to use it anyway.
But we know that word.
Yes, it was my doing that, but it was also God's help.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems like the book was ordained as well.
It was.
And the fact that, that particular incident that you were talking about was motivation for you.
Yes.
Inspired you to keep on going. And that's what we all need, just to have that little
For sure.
kick. And sometimes we have to be dragged down really low to be able to come up high.
up,
Yes.
Appreciate that. So what else you got in that bag?
All right, so I'm almost done. I promise you, I'm almost
Got a
done.
goodie bag.
How about if I just put them all here?
Yes, there you go.
Put this back. So this was actually my second one after the co-authored book. And it's a powerful poetry for life situations inspired by God's word. And this is a book of original poetry I wrote. I have scriptures to back them up and just little encouraging words after each. And these are sectioned in based on situations, so for forgiveness, for difficult times in your life, and so on. So that's this one.
Wow, I mean, you just have a mixture. You are
Yes.
a creative.
I said, well, I do faith-based and I do nursing.
I love it, yes.
And then this one is one of my controversial books, and I'll tell you why in a minute. The Ephesians 5:22 wife. Now, if you all remember what Ephesians 5:22 says, wives, submit yourselves to your husbands,
Yes.
right? And so it's in the context of a Christian marriage. And so in our culture, when, I won't say most men, but some men,
I love
most men,
Most men. Yes.
they hear control.
control.
Yes.
how the Christian wife scripturally needs to be, and the fact that if there's a husband who is leading the home as Christ intends for him to lead, he will have a wife who will have no problems but to be submissive. And I define submissive because it doesn't mean that you have a man trample all over you.
No,
right?
you stay in the kitchen all day and cooking.
It doesn't mean that.
Burgers and
it doesn't
stuff.
mean
No,
that.
that's not what it
So
means.
this one I wrote, and then I couldn't write this one and not write the companion book for the man.
All right.
Wow.
The Ephesians 5:25 husband, where Ephesians 5:25 tells the husband
Yes,
to love your wife as Christ loves the church. And you think about that, that's a profound love,
Yes.
right? And so I sell these two as companion books.
Wow.
And what I'm working on, I told you something else is coming shortly. It's the workbook for these.
Wow.
Nice.
Because I have had a lot of women's conferences. Churches have
Yes.
bought
Yeah.
these
Couples
for their
conferences. That would be
women's
great.
conferences
Yes.
and men's
Yeah.
conferences.
Yes.
And so I am writing the workbook for both of these.
That's great. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because, I get that a lot as someone who coaches a lot of couples, and a lot of them come to me that are Christian and faith-based. So that's going to be a welcomed companion workbook. Yes.
And then my most recent, and this is the final one, I promise you. See, there's nothing else.
Okay,
That's
you can keep
fine.
them coming.
The final, and so this one is about 2 months old.
Okay.
And this is
Congratulations.
faculty feedback to students, help or harm.
Oh.
And so one
Wow,
of the
that's
things
interesting.
I'm passionate about,
Wow.
and I have done in my role currently, I work as an adjunct professor now for a few universities. But prior to that, I worked full-time as a faculty development specialist. And so I traveled to the all of our campuses and trained new faculty, new professors, and, many times I had to observe their classes and see how they teach. And we have a way of, and I'm sure our previous guest,
Yes.
Dr. Stevenson,
The
can
other
attest
Steven- the other
Right.
can attest to this as a professor, that, in nursing specifically, I'm not sure if in the accounting realm, but in nursing, we tend to hire a lot of new nursing faculty. And we hire them because they are great clinicians. They are excellent clinicians in their fields. And we hire them and we say, you are an excellent clinician, so come and teach. Come and teach.
That's not necessarily so.
And we do not give them all of the tools that
With
they
which
need
to
to teach.
work,
Now,
yes.
they are excellent clinicians, but
course.
they may not have a clue how to deliver and their delivery and how they teach in the class. That then translates into them not being able to give students excellent feedback.
Yes.
Excellent critique, feedback that can help our students, and not hurt them. You have someone who completed an assignment and the assignment may not have been the best, and the feedback you give to the student is really demoralizing, It's not, we know it's not the best assignment. We know you didn't follow the guidelines, the instructions for writing this paper, We know that the grammar was not on par,
Yeah.
We wonder, did the student even read the guidelines? But in your feedback, you cannot give feedback from an emotional place.
Correct.
Because it can hurt your students.
Of course.
It can cause a student to withdraw from a course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you have to be careful how and what you say, and how you are,
delivery.
what you are writing. And in this society now, where online learning is really what we're doing more than anything else.
Yeah.
Many of your courses you're teaching as a professor are online. You don't have that face to face.
So the body language.
You don't have that
whole,
verb, that whole body language to
Yes,
see.
yes.
So you have to be reliant on the written words. So you have to be careful how you are coaching your students, how you're giving them feedback, so that it's not, turning them off. It's not making them feel so discouraged that they don't want to move forward.
Yeah.
And there's no student progression, which leads into poor retention and poor graduation. So we have to be very careful there. I promise that's it. No more.
No, but there are people online, and we've
Yeah.
got people online right here
We got
commenting. I mean,
questions?
we've got
All
we've got more comments because I mean, our first guest. I mean, that's a little delayed, but it says she definitely needs to come back, and they're bringing you guys back. So we're rescheduling you just to come on back because they love the companion book.
Yeah.
Doc.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They like that idea. Janet says, I love the idea of the companion books. There are people saying this was great, lots of great. Oh, that was Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Sonia. We appreciate that. We
That's
appreciate
right.
the feedback.
We love the
That's
feedback.
nice.
We love for you to comment. So we're asking
Yes.
you all to comment, ask questions, so that we
Awesome.
can get the guests to fill you, to feed you. And so usually I would ask for a wrap-up question, but Spirit is telling me to ask you, could you read one of your short poems?
Well, let's
I love
find
that.
one.
Love that.
I'll try to find maybe a happy one. I don't want to do anything.
Oh yeah, do a happy
Do a happy
Got
one.
enough.
Well, there's some.
Yeah. I love this. I love this.
Oh, most of them are. Let's see.
But you've done so much. I mean, what started you in nursing? And I know that it's
Oh,
we're
so
wrapping
while
up, but
I
want to
am,
know why are you there? I mean, what
what got me into
got you
nursing?
into nursing? What was that?
So Sharon, if my dearest mama was alive still, and you ask her what did Winsome say she wanted to be, even as a little girl down here, she would tell you. She said she either wanted to be a teacher or a nurse, and so I have been blessed to merge both of my
of them
passions.
together.
I love it.
And what solidified my desire back then to be a nurse, when I was about 10 years old, I had a broken bone. This was in Jamaica, and I was admitted to the hospital. And there was a nurse, Nurse Mac.
Shout out to Nurse
She
Mac.
was, shout out to Nurse
Yes,
Mac. I don't know
yes.
where she is, but she was the most caring. And back then they had, the nurses lived in a house on the
Yeah,
grounds of the
hostel or
hospital.
something. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And so even on her days off, she would walk over and she would come and she would braid my hair and she
wow.
would bathe me because she didn't want my mom to come or my dad. And I wasn't. I was in the hospital for a month and 3 weeks.
No way.
And she didn't want my dad or my parents or anyone to come and see me. So she would come and not groomed. She would
course.
come over and she would bathe me. She would bring
Yeah.
little things over for me. And so she had an impact. She left an indelible mark on me.
Yeah.
And look at you
As a
today. If
nurse
she
that
could
I
see-
want.
she
That's
could see
nursing
you.
and nurturing.
Yeah.
That is-
Nurturing.
yeah.
Yeah.
What you got for us?
All right. Well, they all have a little bit of
That's all right.
emotional something trigger. Let's do this one. Yeah. This one is called Please Hold Me Close, Lord. Should I do this one? Let's see for a moment. Yes, let's do that one. Hold me close, Lord. Please let me feel you near. This journey called life is sometimes hard to bear. Hold me close, Lord, when I need to be comforted, when I'm walking, but inside I feel dead. Hold me close, Lord, when the health report is bad and the prognosis makes me so very sad. Hold me close, Lord, when I'm told there is no cure and the thought of death I must endure. Hold me close, Lord, when I've lost my job and all I can do is let out a sob. Hold me close, Lord, when the bills are long past due and creditors are starting to sue. Hold me close, Lord, when my child is not acting right. He's been in yet another school fight. Hold me close, Lord, because you know I've tried everything, but each day I dread hearing the telephone ring. Hold me close, Lord, when I've made a mistake and everyone is quick to say I'm a fake. Hold me close, Lord, as I struggle with the shame, as I try desperately to regain my good name. Hold me close, Lord, and remind me whose I am. When I tend to behave wild, tame me like a lamb. Hold me close, Lord, and help me to seek you in all things, in everything I do.
Ashe, I love that. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
sharing.
allowing me
Thank
to
you for
share
sharing.
that.
Oh, that's
that.
all right. And it
Wow.
was very appropriate because we
Very.
both had a nod when he talked about when the
Yes,
phone call and the
yes.
debt collector. We all can identify.
I know. Reality, right?
Yes,
It was
right.
a precursor that we had.
For the exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
we had.
Perfect.
So, tell us
Gosh,
again how we can
how we
best
could-
get in contact with you.
So you can get in contact with me. So I do have an author website. It is WB. So look in the camera. It's wbstevenson.com. And you can purchase my books through my website, or you can go directly to Amazon.
Okay, say that website one more time.
WB Stevenson, STEPHENSON.com. I just want to add another website. I know we have no time, but
That's
I
fine.
also have an online business.
Yes, I will
Yes.
bring that up.
Yes, yes.
Winnie.
I have an online business where I sell, designer things. I love scarves, so I sell a
course,
lot
and I
of
love that one you're
Hermes
wearing.
scarves and, like Louis Vuitton scarves and bags and so on. And that is Winnie's Trendy Treasures.com. Winnie's Trendy Treasures.
Very nice. I did
Please,
go
thank you.
online and look. The first thing I
Check
went
it
to
out.
Oh, you
jewelry
did?
and shoes, and I'm like,
I
okay,
know, yeah.
some vintage stuff there. Beautiful. Well, thank you again for
appreciate
sharing
you.
with us.
Thank you for having me.
Right.
Absolutely. And we're just going to have these ladies back, Sharon, because I'm telling you, we can't have enough of this. I mean, you absolutely blessed our day, blessed our podcast today.
Thank
and we
you
want to
so
say thank you so much. God bless you.
My pleasure. Blessings
so
to you.
Stevenson and
Thank you.
Stevenson.
Stevenson and
you are
Stevenson.
welcome to
Wow.
Talk with Sharon and Sharon.
That's it. I love it.
All right. then.
Wow.
So, Speak
yes.
Harmony family, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to talking to you again next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. And a quick reminder, this Saturday, July 26th, come and make sure you check out the JIFSC Final Song Competition. And it will be at July 26th, that's this Saturday. Doors open at 5. Showtime is on time at 6 p.m. Shiloh High School Theater, 4210 Shiloh Road, Snellville, Georgia. If you haven't bought your ticket, you can buy your ticket there. We hope to see you because we will be there.
We will be there.
All right,
and we've
now.
got the AJA, we've got the Jamaican Association, Inc., in collaboration with aggregates the Educational and AJ Cultural Fund, Inc., presenting the annual Independence Ball on August 9th at 6 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. It's going to be held at the Atlanta Marriott Marquis, 265 Peachtree Center, Northeast Atlanta. The keynote speaker will be none other than Stephen Golding. Let me tell you, Marcus Garvey, you cannot get enough of
can't
this
get enough.
gentleman, our great and first hero, Jamaican hero, who was exonerated by President Biden. And guess what? He will be bringing it to you. We have the SWAT band. We have, a great and amazing MC, Will Hart, the SWAT band, Mikey Sparkle. And, listen, we're going to be partying with
We always
Cold
have a
Rise,
good time
DJ
at
Cold
the
Rise. So
Independence Ball.
listen,
Yes.
guys, get your tickets right now. Get your tickets. And we thank you. Please, we're going to ask you to like, subscribe, and share. Again, like, subscribe, and share. Speak Harmony. Speak your harmony. Thank you, APAP Media, for your amazing sponsorship, for your really, we appreciate everything you do for us. Patrick Parkins, Mr. P, as we call him affectionately. He's our cheerleader. So until next Tuesday, same time, same place, we look forward to seeing you where we speak harmony. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Meetings of the mind where wisdom is shared. Tamara and Sharon, a duo prepared to light up the path, to bridge every gap. Access meets opportunity, there's no turning back. Forward with fortitude, the future's in sight. let your voice intertwine. So let's move forward, ever bold and true, with Sharon and Tamara, the vision